Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the GeniusCast Season 3. Today is episode number 6. Last week, we interviewed Sinkaroony, a.k.a. Dakota Wood, the developer of Five Nights at the Chum Bucket. So if you guys would like to go check out that episode, y'all can go do that. Link in the description and the iCards. And today, my friends, episode 6 is being devoted to a very good friend of mine and probably a developer you all know well, I would say. It's Malrat, formerly known as Photonegative Mickey. How you doing, man?
I thought this was a McDonald's. Where am I?
You're at a Dick Models. That's where you are. It's an alternate universe.
Did you just say Dick Models?
Yes, that's what Vince calls it, and I've
right,
kind of
I'm not
going
to question that. This just moved right the fuck on.
So you guys know Malrat. He's the developer of the Five Nights at Mack Tonight series. He's made a good amount of Five Nights at Treasure Island fan games. He's made Dodge Projectiles. He's making the Lost Ones. Yeah, the newest one called the Lost Ones Treasure Island. He's currently making that, and this is awesome because Malrat has been on the show before. I'm just going to refer to you as Mickey because I've called you Mickey for like 5 years straight, so I'm just going to continue doing that.
People still do call me Mickey even after the name change. Even I'm too used to being called Mickey at this point.
Yeah, so we're just going to go with that. Basically, Mickey's been on the show before. He was on season 2. I think it was episode 3. He was with Ivan G. We were talking about mainly Jollibees, but he's never gotten his own solo episode. So I thought
majority of the questions were mainly directed towards Ivan. I had a few here and there, but it was mainly about, the upcoming Jollibees. Well, not really the upcoming Jollibees. At the time it was, but now it's can't really be spoken of anymore.
Yeah, because that whole, copyright thing happened. Yeah, which was a shame. I think the Jollibees games are great, but sadly they are gone. But you can still watch videos of them on YouTube. Those are still up. But yes, for this solo episode, we're going to be asking Mickey all the questions. Now, I just want to point out, just want to make sure people understand. It's like, particularly with these questions, we got like a whole slew of questions here, and I want to make sure for future reference, guys, if you've got a question, be sure to only ask a max of 3, because there are some people, I'm not going to name names, but there are some people that ask like 4, 5, 6, even 10 questions, and since we're trying to go through all of these questions here,
in shorter terms, I have a life, and I don't want to end up answering every single one of your questions about what my favorite food is.
Yes, what Mickey said. So, for future reference, if you guys would like to ask a question, be sure to only ask a max of 3, whether you're on Community tab, Twitter, or my Discord server. And speaking of that, if you would like to participate in future episodes, you can do that. Every week, I make a post talking about my next guest, and you guys can ask them a question on the replies to those posts, and that's how I would do the conversations. So, again, be sure to only ask 3 in the future so we can get to everybody and keep the podcast at a healthy length, so it's not like 3 or 4 hours long. So we're going to dive in and start with our community tab questions as per usual. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah, can I have a 20 McNugget share box?
Oh, yeah, sure. Coming right up. Okay, we're going to start with Community tab. The first one is from We Are Not Abandoned. He says, ask Mickey about more collaborations with other developers he worked in the past, such as Desco or others.
Well, when it comes to collaborations, I'm not one to exactly go up to them and ask them if they want to do a collab, because either they're too busy or I'm not familiar with them. There have been collaborations I've been planning with before, like me and someone called Obsidious. The guy made the Five Nights at Freddy's simulator or Five Nights at Freddy's multiplayer or something like that. We wanted to try and do collabs here and there, but the ideas just never really came up yet. Me and him have kind of not spoken to each other in a long time, so I don't know what's happening with that. But with how much I'm doing these days, I can't really ask for collabs. Because I don't know, I guess I'm just too used to being a solo developer at this point that I just kind of focus on what I do, not like, helping other people. But Jolly 4 is a different matter when it comes to collabs, because I worked for Ivan from the beginning on Jollibees, and seeing how when that got made, I couldn't really turn down wanting to work on it. So if people ask me and I'm familiar with them, then depending on what I'm doing, yeah, I'd most likely help them out.
Yeah, that's understandable. You said that you worked with the guy who made FNAF multiplayer. What were y'all gonna do? Were y'all gonna do like Financial Treasure Island multiplayer? Or?
We don't know. I think I was gonna try and get Matt tonight involved in one of his projects. I'm not sure, but we haven't really discussed anything as of late. But we have always had in mind to kind of some sort of ideas. A lot of ideas, just never really got continued. It's just, it's complicated trying to think of something unique.
Oh, yeah, I feel that, especially these days. That's why I always like to preach about, if I'm going to play a FNAF fan game, I want it to have some sort of unique elements, so it's like a fresh experience. But that is definitely understandable. All right, our next one's from Wily Dog. I know I already asked a question on Discord, but I figured this could be a different type of question. After The Lost Ones is finished, what plans are coming for games like Dodge the Projectiles?
Once I finish fun games, I want to move to Unreal or Unity. I want to try and make like proper, I want to say AAA game level games. Like, considering I do a lot of 3D work, because of me being too used to how to make graphics and stuff, I can see that being an advantage when it comes to an engine like Unreal, because making a big free roam exploration type of environment alongside my experience in making models, I can picture me being able to make some pretty good looking environments. I'm not saying I can. I'm just saying from my experience, I could expect to. Otherwise, that's been a lot of years worth of practice down the drain. But Unreal is something I've been ambitious to use, but with my current situation, just sticking to ClickTeam for the current projects, I just haven't had the chance to move to it yet. But because of university, I've actually been tampering around with Unreal here and there, because I've been actually designing levels for my course. So with that experience, it can allow me to try and tie it into future possible Unreal projects. I want to try and do different ties. I want to do things like VR. I want to do different things like horror, 3D horror. Hell, even if lucky, I might actually try and return to a fan game related theme in Unreal, depending on my mood. Just experiment, just to see where I could go, how far it's been. Just a way of experimenting.
Yeah, I get that, and the next question actually was exactly in this type of field here. It's from Landcart the God. He asks, like, do you plan on making games in the future, and what kind? So I guess that would apply to what you just said. Like, I remember you telling me that you had kind of an idea for like, you're in this town and you fall asleep and wake up and all your friends are gone and you have to...
Yeah, that something like that's gonna need a lot of work on if I want to try and make it work. But I guess it was because of me watching a bit of Silent Hill lately. Kind of inspired me for like this. Well, I guess I could say a bit of Silent Hill and Resident Evil, which kind of inspired me to try and take my own pace on this. This forgotten town.
I'm really surprised that there hasn't been Silent Hill, Resident Evil kind of mashup, because I feel like it would work really well together. But hey, if you make that a thing, like, I love those types of games. Like, you wake up in like a town that's not quite the same. Everything's a little different. Everybody gone.
Mainly, I didn't have the cliche, oh my god, I passed out and here I am. Wow, now I have to find a way out. I want to try and, just because trying to add a bit of sense to that instead of like making it just, ooh, it's all just a dream. Because something I've learned and something I can agree with is it's just a dream is an absolute waste of potential. Because if you make something and you make it end off with, oh, it was just a dream, you've just completely scrapped every single plot point that you've done because it was all fake. And if it was so it was an absolute waste and doesn't really make it feel it doesn't really give it a satisfying ending. Like, was that it? It was all just fake in your head. You want to see something like that continue. And, just doing something like that, it's just never a good idea.
It's not, and that reminds me of the books that I'm writing. The series is called The Guardians of Platharkis, and the original idea that I was gonna go with, and this was a few years ago, and I scrapped this for that very reason that you just said. The very end of the book was gonna have the main character like wake up, and he was in a coma for the entire trilogy, because of the prologue at the beginning of the book. They encounter this evil substitute teacher, and he gets shot in the head, and then the next chapter he wakes up in this world, and then at the end of this book series, it's going to be that he was in a coma from getting shot in the head. And I thought,
what I would do instead is, if you have got to go with that, it was just a dream type of path. Maybe I would just involve a twist where you thought it was a dream, turns out it's not.
Yeah,
and where you are is just as different as where you were before.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, because I've been kind of trying to figure out how I'm going to actually end the series, because I do have ideas, but the way that the final book in the series is coming, there's a lot to it, and I got to figure out a good way to end it off, because I have so many plans for, like, sacrificial deaths and major characters dying, and, like, I don't know how to get all of that to work out and still have it be a satisfying ending. So definitely having the main character wake up and it was all a dream is just a cop-out, and it's not creative. And so, anyway, all of that to say, I very much agree.
I think we're going a bit off topic here as well.
I know, but I'm just saying, all to your point of saying that the character, it was all a dream thing. It's just definitely don't go with that.
So in short terms, don't expect me to try and tie in it's just a dream and future possible stories.
Yeah, same here with my writing. We're not going to be doing that. So. All right, our next questions are from Shadow Jagger. The first one is, as of recently, what has been your hardest obstacle in game development?
My hardest obstacle, so I guess it's like either graphics or coding.
Yes, I guess.
Well, I guess I could either say the finance report Pixar mechanic or the Lost Ones 2 remastered core gameplay, because even today, that Lost Ones 2 remastered still has a few bugs here and there that I need to fix. It's because, like, having the code, like what's going on but around the location, is rather tricky for a point-and-click free-roam game, because some of the coding that I've done actually messes up some of the graphics too, because sometimes you see like 2 Undyings or 2 Pandoras. So I would say doing a point-and-click, fully-fledged free-roam type game. Well, I wouldn't say fully-fledged, but an entire game based on free-roaming point-and-click is possibly the hardest thing I've done in development so far.
Yeah, and I was there in real time watching you do that pigsty mechanic. I've told a lot of people about that I remember, like, being in a call with you, watching you, like, figure that out. And
yeah,
that was, wow, I felt so bad for you. But hey, you got it to work, and I bet it was so satisfying. Finally,
I think I could possibly do it better these days. I mean, who knows what the future has in stock.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, for 2019, for 3 years ago, I mean, you that was impressive that you figured that out, because I can't even imagine. Like, that's probably a line of code for every, like, arrow that appears, and you gotta tell the program to recognize the arrow key on the keyboard that's being pressed, and if you press it wrong, and it's like that. There's so much to that. So I still find it really impressive that you got that to work, because I remember thinking it was a very ambitious idea.
It's most likely that some bigger devs than me would look at that and say, oh my god, that's easy, you just did it wrong. But if you're trying to learn it, then yes, it would be a bit difficult.
But hey, I still see it as impressive, and the bigger devs can say that all they want, but I mean, bigger devs probably have more experience. So with your experience at that point,
it's a learning path, and I eventually got past it. So
yeah, there you go.
To remember.
And Jagger's next question is, what's your advice to people who want to start making games?
Right, okay. So this is something I've said before when it comes to Game Joe, because if you go to the new tab of Game Joe, let's say, you see people with thumbnails, like people who just started Blender. As soon as they learn one thing, they just think that it's game make worthy. So you see like a model which is just a sphere with a red color with 2 other spheres peeking out of it. So like a very lazy looking model. So my advice is, if you're learning something and then you accomplish something, don't go straight into game development just as soon as you know it, because what you want is for your work to stick out. You want your work to look unique. And if you go in with something you just learned without experimenting further with it or learning new things alongside it, then you aren't going to attract any attention, because you're going to look like just You're just going to look like a very much beginner. You're going to look like a beginner developer, and you're just rushing into it. Like, there have been so many people on Game Joe who have made a page but ended up cancelling their game because they said they don't know how to code or model. You can't be that ambitious. You need to make sure you get enough skill to consider making something, because I started off like that and it ended up being stressful because people were expecting something. And if you end up disappointing those people, then you're not exactly giving yourself a good representation for your future projects. So just be patient, see what you can do, experiment with what you can do, and just try and improving it over and over. That's all I can really say.
I fully agree with that. I think, don't you remember, we've had a couple of times in my server, I think, that we've had somebody come in there like looking for a coder and a modeler for their game.
Some people ask out loud, can somebody help me make a model or something? Or sometimes even on pages, people will just put someone else in the credits without even asking them, expecting them to just work for them. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Try and learn yourself, because if you get someone else to do your work and you're just sat in the back doing nothing, you are not gonna get the praise you want. The other person is gonna get the praise, not you. You are not gonna get any credit. You're just gonna be the guy who just sat back and just watched. And people aren't gonna like that look on you. They're gonna think you're lazy, and you're gonna think that you just take credit of other people's work. Don't do that.
Yeah, fully agreed. Do not do that. So, all right, Jagger's next question is, what part of game making do you enjoy the most?
Modeling, 3D graphics.
Yeah, I mean, like you sit there and make just models just on your spare time. I've seen you like go out. You've made like Burger King and just like you made a Green Goblin helmet a few weeks ago.
Because of No Way Home, I ended up making that Green Goblin helmet. It took a while because I didn't have the proper reference material, but definitely 3D modeling is my passion.
Yeah, and it shows, man. You've come a long way with your modeling. I mean, you look back at your 2016 games and you look at your models now, and it's impressive, man. Look, I know it's cringy, but it's a way to see how far you've come in the past 5 years.
We don't speak of that.
Okay.
No.
And Jagger's last question is, do you have a favorite movie or TV show?
Favorite movie or TV show? Oh, God, fucking hell. Favorite movie or TV show? That's actually, I guess I could say one of my favorite movies is Back to the Future 1 or 2. I don't know, I like them both as equal, but I think that's something I would definitely say. And then later on, as soon as I watch this, I could be like, oh, actually it was this. So if I end up having a sudden switch mind, I'll most likely put in the comments. But top 5, I think my favorite movie is like Back to the Future.
Hey, that's a good pick, man. That's a really good movie.
Oh, yeah.
All right, this next one's from Superstar GD. Here's a question. How is Jolly 4 coming along? I haven't seen that much from Ivan G on Game Jolt, and is it true that Jolly 4 is very hard and long? Do you know?
It's not very hard because literally no gameplay. Well, I can't, in respect of the development team, I don't want to say too much, but from what I've seen, there was literally no proper playable gameplay for the game to be considered hard. But
I guess he just heard a rumor from somebody maybe that it was hard.
He's most likely hearing a false rumor because there was actually not a lot of gameplay done so far. Not enough for it to actually considered to have a difficulty. But in terms of progress, I'm unfortunately have to say that's a no-go. I don't want to say. I'm not obligated to say if I think. No, not think. I know the only person who would be obligated to share info on the gameplay or the progress of the game is the Ivan G. So I'm sorry, but I can't answer it.
Hey, fair. And I think it's better to keep that kind of stuff confidential because it's more of a surprise.
Yeah, if I say something out loud, then I know the team is going to kick my ass.
Yeah, and then like when it happens in the game, people won't be as surprised. That's why I feel it's better to keep all that on the low anyway, so people will be more surprised when they play the game. So, all right, our next one's from G1 Rodimus Fangirl. The first one: was there any scrapped content from any of the games you made?
I think literally the only scrapped content that I have or had. Well, actually, that is kind of a few. Nightmare Before Disney V1 or V2 or V3, I don't remember, was going to have Pluto and then Pure Mouse. Max and I 3 was going to have Happy, but I still get asked why I removed him. It's because Happy was not in the 80s. The boat that Max and I 3 is set on is a real boat called the Expo 86 or something like that. Set back in the 80s, and it was a floating McDonald's, they called it, a McDonald's that's on the water. Then it got abandoned, and it's still there like today. So because of that, I sent Max and I 3 there. And if it's from the 80s, Happy did not exist back then. So how can I put an animatronic of a modern day character on a ship that's meant to be from the 80s with old animatronics from that time? How does that work?
Yeah, that's understandable. I remember like when you scrapped them, and there were also people that were asking if Ronald and Chris were going to be in that game, and I think they didn't. They didn't understand that the Night to Night 3 is not canon to the original timeline.
It's more of a separate universe.
Yeah, Chris, different universe.
A different universe, Chris would have been, I don't know, working out a fucking KFC or Taco Bell or something, I don't know. But and Ronald, being a different variation of Ronald, he would have just been working at a McDonald's not normally. I mean, Ronald was dead because of Chris, and if Chris didn't do what he did in a different universe, which is, alternate, then there was no reason for Ronald to be dead.
Yeah, there were people that didn't understand that, I don't think, because like they kept on asking over and over why, like they were like, well, could they be custom night character? No, no, that wouldn't make any sense.
People asked the same thing for Max and I 2. It's because it's a prequel. Chris is in Max and I 2 because you play as
Chris, yeah.
Ronald isn't in it because he's not dead yet. The only way I'd be able to tie Ronald in with Max and I 3 or Max and I 2 is if he was an actual animatronic or a suit.
Yeah, but he's not. He's literally just a walking corpse. So
yeah, I never really had any backstory as to why that was. Because Max and I 1 didn't have any story whatsoever. I just threw him in for scare factor. And when the time came where we started adding story, I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do with Ronald? He's a zombie. How can I explain this? So that was a bit of a big weight on my heavy weight on my shoulders about what to do with him. That's why in the Halloween special, I kind of just made him ghost, a spirit. You just feel like that kind of made more sense with the Halloween theme.
Yeah, I would agree. I like the way you did that with the Halloween special, and then we had Myers McCheese with the.
I saw a question about the character design choices, so we'll get to that as soon as we get to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, and then their next question was, I think this is probably still on a lot of people's minds, why did you change your name?
Okay, so there's, of course, those who don't check my Twitter, because the pinned tweet is literally what the reason is, but if I were to sum it down, I changed my name because if I were to start selling stuff like merch, or if I were to start selling games, then I can't sell it under a name that is photo negative Mickey, because it's Mickey Mouse, and that is infringement to Disney's copyright. So if I were to sell merch based on P&M or even under the name, I didn't want to be in that a possible position to be sued by Disney or potential lawsuit because of, as said, infringing their copyright. I wanted to go with an original character for once, because everybody out there has their own original character or characters, and I feel like just walking around using Mickey Mouse as my persona didn't make me feel original. I made Malrat as a representation of because malware. So basically, the digital wise, and I'm an absolute knob. So malwares can be really bad for your computer. It's hard to explain basically. And I kept the rat theme as a callback to P&M. So I kept the mouse theme because I know people were most familiar with me about Mickey Mouse. So I thought I said as a bit of a callback to Mickey. So my character isn't Mickey. It's just like inspired. But yeah, that's mainly the reason why I changed my name. I didn't want to be in that central position of lawsuit, and I wanted to keep my look original, especially if I'm growing out there as a developer, and I start to meet different people. If I were to get my name out there even bigger, I want to be known as my own thing. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of confusion.
Gotcha. That's completely understandable. And hey, Malrat, I like Malrat. I think that's a unique name, and your profile picture that goes along with it, I think fits really well, and it's it's easy to remember, I would say as well. So
I like how you say the profile picture goes along with it when my current profile picture is literally the devil.
Well, that's your Discord. I mean your YouTube, or unless you.
Yeah. Just my you mean my persona?
Yes.
Also, to those out there, not persona, because I'm not a furry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know it's a mouse, but I'm not a furry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a mascot. Okay.
Just a mascot. Okay.
Just a mascot.
And the last question is, what do you do outside of making games?
Holy shit. Okay. Obviously, I like to play games. In terms of real life wise, I go out to see my friends every Saturday. I, of course, walk my dogs, see family on weekends. Well, we'll see my dad on weekends because divorced parents. But see my dad on weekends. It's just basically things a normal human would do in their spare time.
Our next question's from Random. What Mack Tonight game of yours do you consider to be a letdown, or is just generally not fun to work on?
Mack Tonight 2.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm one of those people that doesn't think Mack Tonight 2 is that bad. I mean, I personally enjoyed it a lot, but...
It's annoying. It's not fun with the alarm sound. The mechanics are reused. And it's very, 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 very dull.
Well, hey, at least you...
did I say it's not fun?
At least you gave it justice with 2 Remastered. I think that was
yes.
a much better remake.
Also, I just want to quickly say while on that topic, for those watching, at some point in the future, I do want to push out an update for Mack 2 Remastered. Mainly because people say 020 is too easy. So I'm considering on releasing a buff patch for the enemies with updated AI and a way to make them more aggressive on 020. And I might consider a possible harder mode for 020.
Ooh.
So just a way of making the game a bit more harder and as well I need to fixable wallet issue that's been going on. So because whenever people complete 020, a lot said they don't get the reward.
Oh, the 10,000 coins, yeah.
Yeah, that's something I definitely need to look into. And as well, make the chance higher to get a wallet between nights.
Let me go grab my crown out of my closet and dust it off. Because
it's gonna be a while to that update. But just note, I know I said I'm done with Mack, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna just polish up the other games just in case. So that's a little reveal for this podcast.
Cool. Off topic, but have you considered making a sort of collection for the Mack games?
Be honest, at this point, yes, I have been considering it just to put them all in one page, just to try and shorten down the amount of games I have on my game journal. Just make my game journal games list a bit more organized. So a bit like what if I did with my old games of Fnaf. I'm just considering putting all the Mack games into one page, just so that I start cleaning up my game journal a bit.
I think it would be really cool if you did sort of what Ian did with the Fnaf games, kind of putting all of them into one thing, and each game has a little description.
Only issue with trying to get them all into one application. So you have to copy the frames from their base games, and then you have to make sure that when you complete something, when like you go to 6 a.m., it doesn't accidentally go to the other game.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But the coding is going to be a bit of a mess, trying to make sure everything like is together, and it's all trying to get the data for each game, like your save data. It's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass.
Yeah. I haven't even thought about all that.
Yeah, that's kind of why I've held back on doing a all-in-one collection, just because of how much I'm going to have to do just to try and make sure it all works. But I don't know, something probably will happen.
If you decide to do that, I'd be happy to like help you with like writing the descriptions and stuff for all that. Like, I'd be.
There might
down.
be a description. I don't know. I think I'll just end up just making it so it's just select and play. I don't really know about descriptions. I mean, there was going to be a description. I think I'll just make a story based. So just because I already said what happens in the story, so I think it would just say at what point each story happens.
Right. Okay, well, we'll see if that turns out to be a thing.
We'll see.
All right, our next one is from SMG5. Question for the rat himself. What is your proudest model that you've done from Mack Tonight and the Lost Ones?
My proudest model. Okay, so my proudest model in Lost Ones would be Hourglass. The new one.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, that's good. I think people are going to like that.
Yeah, I hope so. But the very new one that has not been fully revealed. I apologize for the work in progress one. I know it was a bit too early for that, but I was just too excited. But I really like the look of the new Hourglass for the Lost Ones, and I hope everyone likes it. Mack Tonight wise, I would say 2A Mack. I would say that's my favorite model.
Yeah, that's a good model. I would tend to agree.
Yeah.
All right, our next one is from Edward the Great. So he's got a few questions here. The first one is, if you could make an educated guess, what would be the age percentage of people that play your games?
12.
That's the majority demographic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and his next one is, would you ever partner with the Radiance team to remaster some of your games?
No.
Okay, moving along. Would you be concerned if Disney started taking down your games? I believe you changed your name because of that.
If Disney told me to take down my games, I would have to comply. I wouldn't be bothered because I'm not really big on my older games. It would be a shame for the Lost Ones Treasure Island, but technically, the Lost Ones 2 wouldn't go anywhere because there are no Disney-related things in the Lost Ones 2. So, therefore, if Disney was to take down Lost Treasure Island, that kind of opens up a path for me to potentially make the Lost Ones into a actual original series.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because like the Lost Ones 2 Remastered has just original characters. The original Lost Ones 2 had Oswald in it, but then you removed him. So
because he was in media. But that's even if Disney took down my games, it opens a new door for me. So I wouldn't be bothered at all. As long as I don't get sued.
All right, and his last question is, who are some YouTubers you got introduced to by them playing and posting videos of your games? Not counting me, of course.
Like, if I met them?
Or like say if like what YouTubers were you like just introduced to and started watching because they played and posted videos.
Well, here's something funny. Salutus Chaos, a good friend of ours. I met him through him playing one of my games. Because I have this thing where whenever I post a new game, or sometimes from time to time, I will go on YouTube, I will type in the name of my game, and I would set the upload results to like most recent, just to see who plays it, what people thought of it, see if people enjoyed it. So it's a way of me getting feedback to remember for future projects or even bug fixes. But I remember seeing Chaos's channel and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed his vid. So I think I remember commenting, and then I think we ended up getting in contact a bit after that too. So Chaos is really, I think the only person I met through people play my games.
Right. Besides me, there's actually somebody that asked later on how we met, so we can get into that when we get there. So, all right, our next questions are from the Gamer Bros. Big fan of the podcast. I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad you enjoy it. So here are his questions. The first one is, what gave you the inspiration for making Five Nights with Mack Tonight 3? And I think you talked about that. It was the barge one. Thank you. The McBarge one.
Yeah, the Mack. Originally, I didn't want to do a Mack 3, obviously, but because of the amount of requests I got asked to make it. I said to myself, if I were to do a Mack Tonight 3 properly, because the FNAF 4 one obviously was shit, and then the factory one didn't work out, I didn't have any good ideas for an actual third game. But until I got some people together about possible ideas, somebody brought up the McBarge, and I said, that's actually a really good idea. And the behind the scenes of Mack Tonight 3, I put so much effort into Mack Tonight 3 because I would search up videos, Google Images, all sorts of different rooms around the McBarge, and then I would of like people uploading them walking around or images for people uploaded online. I would actually watch these vids, try and connect the pieces together to remake the layout entirely in Blender, just so it represents the actual McBarge. Because I spent countless hours researching the layout and stuff to get the proper layout. That's how much I actually cared about the third game. So that's kind of the reasons why I ended up making it, because it got me really motivated into making this McBarge set location.
Right, and I would think that that's still one of the most unique locations that I've seen in a fan game, because usually, like, not a lot of fan games that I know of have a boat setting. I know that Adam's Dream Come True game is on a boat, but I remember being there, watching you like research what the rooms in the McBarge looked like, and you were very close.
What I did as well to even support the story even more is that I didn't make up my own story. The story in Mack Tonight 3 about the McBarge being turned into kind of deep facility center or something like that, it's an actual real thing that was going to happen. People were going to make the McBarge into a deep discovery center. It was a project, and then I think it then stopped. But I ended up setting the game's purpose around that to give it an actual reason why you're there.
Yeah, it makes sense for the guard to be, kind of watching everything, making sure that, everything's in order. So
yeah, so that's basically why Mack Tonight 3 was made, because of a lot of inspiration and things I found online. So Mack Tonight 3, I would say, is the only fan game I've done countless hours of research on. Because as I said, the amount of time it took me to try and connect the pieces together to make the layout of the ship was forever.
But hey, I think it turned out well. It was time well spent.
I really like the release. But if I were to do anything with the game, I think I'd update its GUI. I think that's the only thing I do, because I do not like the GUI.
Gotcha. All right, its next question is, how did you feel when you saw Markiplier make videos on your games?
What the fuck is he doing?
I mean, which ones? He played End of Disney.
The End of Disney and Mack Tonight 1.
Yeah, I remember those.
At the End of Disney, he only got confused because he thought it was in the actual game.
Yeah, he thought it was Anart making it. And like
Mack Tonight 1 Remastered, he played because of 3 random FNAF games. So I think he was bound to come across it eventually, and I'm glad he played it. He seemed to enjoy it, I think. I didn't watch the entire thing because I was nervous out my ass about what he'd think about the game. So I never ended up watching the full thing.
I watched the video. He seemed to like it. I think he didn't dislike it.
Yeah, no, it's the End of Disney. He said he wasn't going to finish it. But he only played Mack Tonight 1 now because of 3 random FNAF games, so it's kind of understandable he wouldn't go through the entire thing. But I'm still pretty happy about it.
Yeah, and I've had Markiplier look at some of my stuff too. He, I think I've talked about that multiple times. You know about the Legend of Markiplier. You know that story.
Yeah, you told me.
And for people who don't know, basically, I'll keep it short. When Markiplier played the Legend of Markiplier
got stuck, searched up vid, conveniently Bud's vid, Bud had a fanboy moment.
Yeah. He was playing the Legend of Markiplier and he didn't understand how to get the good ending, so he happened to look up my videos on it. And you can, in his stream, you can very briefly hear my voice because he pulled up my video. So it's really cool, honestly. And I had a few people actually comment on that video and be like, "Yo, like I recognize the voice." Like I'm like, "Yeah, too bad Mark didn't leave a comment." Well, it's whatever. But he's also played some of my Happy Wheels videos and Happy Wheels levels. Can't speak today. He's played a few of those in his videos.
You made Happy Wheel levels?
Yeah, back in the day, back in like 2014, I made a few, and I made a couple of Kill Them All levels, and he happened to play those because you remember he used to do the Kill Them Alls at the end of some of his highlights. And
that's actually something I never knew about you.
But yeah, he played a few of them, which was really cool to watch. So, all right. His next question is: do you feel like Five Nights at Mack Tonight caused the Mack Tonight character to become popular again?
Half and half. I wouldn't say I don't want to think I have full credit for Mack Tonight becoming popular again. I'm sure people out there love the character as much as the next person, and kept re-uploading the commercials, some original footage of him just to keep the hype going. Not really the hype, just to keep his proper look.
Didn't you, there was this one, like, Mack Tonight commercial that you showed me, and somebody in the comments said, "Who the hell is Mr. Moon Pie?" It was...
I don't remember that. Bloody
you did, yeah. It was like a random Mack Tonight commercial, and somebody commented, "Who the hell is Mr. Moon Pie?"
Fucking hell.
I was like, "Oh God!" Like it's spread that far apparently.
Oh yeah, the Moon Pie meme still hasn't died. I kind of asked someone to involve it in something.
Oh, so, you did.
Yep. So
there's still people that say it. So,
but it's an upcoming project that has a Moon Pie meme in it.
Oh no!
So look out for that.
No.
I privately asked the creator of that game to put it in for me.
Oh Lord!
So look out for that. You're welcome.
Oh, I totally will. I can't wait. All right. The next question is totally off topic, but do you have any favorite foods from McDonald's or Disney World?
From McDonald's or Disney World?
Yes.
Well, for McDonald's, I like to have the 20 nugget share box. But if it's not that, I like to have it called the McLegend. I know that some countries don't have the McLegend, but I think it's just like a chicken sub or something with cool mayo. It's basically that. But from Disney World, I've actually never had anything to eat at a Disney World. But the last time I had something to eat at Disney World was a very long time ago, where I had a Mickey Mouse head shaped pizza. That's the only thing I can ever remember.
Huh. Interesting. The only time I ever went to Disney World was when I was 7, so I definitely don't remember what I even had there to eat. Probably like corn dogs or something. Probably a little kid meal. But... And then his last question is, what are some things you're looking forward to in 2022?
Like as in games?
I guess anything.
Movies? I know I'm looking forward to that new Sonic movie.
Oh, dude, that's going to be awesome. And Doctor Strange 2. That's going to be awesome, too.
Oh, yeah. A lot of good movies out this year. So I'm a movie guy, so I'm looking forward to a lot of movies this year.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be awesome. All right, this next question's from Delsaroff. What gave you the idea to make Five Nights with Mack Tonight?
I used to work with a guy called Peyton, making a one night with Moon Man. It's more on the racial side. Not like the game is going to be racist. I mean, like specifically, the Moon Man was the name of the more racist version of Mack Tonight. So
yeah,
there was a bit of backlash after that, and development was going super slow one night with Max and I, but I ended up wanting to try and make one on my own, and I did. Then it got turned into 5 nights with Max and I, and then it just turned into what it turned into today. Sorry, Paige.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Next one is from Razvan. Malrat, I really have to question, how does it feel to be injected with bean juice?
Oh, it is. I'm high as fuck, dude.
Well, it's better than drugs.
I'm fucking baked.
Like baked beans. Heh. Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah, but...
All right, the next one is from IDK 2068. Out of all your old games, not counting the Lost One series, which one is the best in your opinion?
A lot of people seem to like the end of Disney, so I think I might say that. Because that seems to be the most highly thingy out of the other old games.
Which one would you say is the best in your opinion, just like from making it and the one you're proud of the most?
Oh god, because I don't even like any of the old games, but there was one I don't know, because I've never really liked any of them, to be honest. I would have been, I guess my favorite would actually be the End of Disney V2, just because of its I guess it's just because of how different it kind of feels. I wouldn't say that it's like top favorite. I guess I'd just say most preferred.
Okay, gotcha. Understandable. Our next question is from Metal Sonic 45. Out of all the models you did for the Lost Ones Treasure Island, which one did you have fun making, and which one did you not have fun making?
One that I had fun making with was obviously Hourglass or Face or Mini. In terms of not having fun, I don't think any. I just about had as much fun with all of them.
All right, fair. If you were able to go back and improve one of your games, which games would they be?
Let the show begin.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mack 2, but Let the Show Begin is something you'd rather do?
Worse from Mack 2.
I don't think I ever played that one. Was that? I assume that was one of like your really, really old ones then.
It was before the End of Disney, so it was way before I even met you.
Oh dang, yeah, that's way back. Gosh. All right, next one is from Dua is Cool. The first one is, what would you rate the FNAF games from 1 to 10? Like the original FNAF games.
All of it? Oh, it's an original, like 1 to 4.
I don't know what he means. He says just the FNAF games. I don't know if he means all of them or just the original ones, but I guess, you know.
Fucking... Okay, in terms of rating, I'm not going to give a number. I'm just going to say FNAF 1's my favorite. FNAF 2 is... It's alright. FNAF 3 is my second favorite. FNAF 4 is my least favorite. That's what I'm gonna say.
My list would be a little different than that. I'd say FNAF 4 is probably my favorite. FNAF 1 and 2 are second.
Okay, I will give FNAF 4 the props because it actually returned the scary factor.
Yeah, that's why I like it so much.
That's what I like about it. But
I can understand why people don't like it. I totally can understand. But
I like FNAF 3 a bit more because I don't know. Springtrap has always been my favorite FNAF character.
I'm kind of warmed up to 3 a little more over the years. I
will say just because Springtrap's my favorite, it's not topping DJ Music Man. Holy fuck, that boy, my favorite.
Oh man, yeah, that's your profile picture in your server, so that shows how much you like him. His second question is, what's your least favorite part of developing games?
Coding.
Yeah, I can understand that. That takes a lot of headaches and concentration. That's something I could never do, which is why I commend you and other developers, because I don't think people would understand that. I don't think people understand that, you know, when it comes to making games, it's all about the coding. Like the coding makes the models move around. The coding goes into everything. So I don't think a lot of people get that. So I can definitely understand that. And his last question is, what is your favorite FNAF fan game?
My favorite FNAF fan game? I actually don't even know, because I guess I could say, I don't know. I guess I could say one out of Funky 3 or Finance Chuck E. Cheese's. You know what? I might actually say Finance Chuck E. Cheese's rebooted.
I've yet to play that, and I probably should, because it sounds like it's good.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. But I think you'll get used to it.
Gotcha. I'll keep that in mind. All right. Next questions are from Philip Underwood. His first one is, what got you into the Halo games?
What got me into the Halo games? I've been playing them since I was 8 years old. I don't even know why. I guess I just like shooters. I guess I like it because of its its style, its story. I guess that's what got me into it. I just play shooters, dude. I don't know.
You like shooters, and you're definitely better at them than me. So
Yeah,
I'll give you that. Because like I'm over there shooting the wall in Apex while you're shooting people, and it's I mean, I've got a little better at Apex, but I don't think I'll ever get to your level unless I play it constantly, which I can't do because I don't have the time. His next one is, what is your favorite fast food restaurant?
I would say KFC.
I haven't been to KFC in so long. My coworker at work got KFC yesterday, and I asked him what he usually likes to get, and he usually gets like the dark meat meal. But you said you like to get, what's it called? The Mighty Bucket? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Mighty Bucket for one.
And there's like so much food in it. I don't think I'd be able to eat all of that without getting stuffed.
Not really a lot.
Sure, I'm sure I'd get stuffed from it because I get full fast, and then if I eat too much, my stomach hurts. So. All right, his next question is, in FNAF fan games, or FNAF games in general, both official and fan games, what is the one thing that you like or love about these games, and what is one thing that you don't like or despise, and what is one thing you hope to see in FNAF fan games in the future?
I want to see unique mechanics. I hate it when modern games just mainly focus on the graphics. But I know I'm saying that, but as soon as the game releases, either the gameplay is going to be really bad compared to the graphics, or the gameplay is actually going to be really good. So I want to see. All I will say is what I'm looking forward to, the future fan games. I'm looking forward to the gameplay. I want to see some good old unique gameplay, not just over the top 4K bloody ray traced graphics, just for the gameplay to end up being sitting simulator.
Gotcha. And his last one is, how do you feel about Disney?
Meh.
I honestly would tend to agree. They've got some good stuff, but they've also got some meh stuff. So, yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Okay, our next questions are from Lexus, and he's got 11 questions, and we're gonna kind of combine these and kind of condense them because, this is why I'm saying for future reference, guys, let's just limit your questions to 3 because we gotta get. I want to get to everybody's, and we don't want these episodes to be like 3 or 4 hours long. So I'm gonna just ask a couple of these here that are more prevalent. So which is this first one? What are your future plans after you finish The Lost Ones 1 Treasure Island in terms to FNAF related or original projects? I think you touched on that earlier.
There's one more fan game planned, and I'm not saying what it is yet. So look out for that.
Okay. And then he asked, how did you feel about the Fazbear Fanverse initiative when Scott revealed it?
I don't really care about it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I've never cared. Like, going on them for getting merch on their characters.
Then he asks, how did you and Ivan G meet?
I think I messaged him with a shitpost one day. Then we started talking after that. I still remember how our first convo started. And when he was making Jollibees, I decided to model Jollibee myself. And I showed him it, just saying, hey, look what I made. He was like, oh, that's cool. Would you be able to help out or something? Because my modeler is actually pretty slow. He's not talking to me or something like that. So I ended up making the characters for him. And I didn't like those characters. And then I asked him, can I remake the characters? He said, sure. And then it turns out they weren't for a remodel update. They were for a second game. I was like, what the hell?
Wait, how the tables turned with that? I bet that was interesting to hear. They're like, actually, I'm making a second game. That's what they're for.
Because he came up to me saying, oh, yeah, those remake models you made? I was like, oh, yeah. Can you finish them? Oh, really? Are we actually going to do the remodel update? No, I'm making a second game. What?
Yeah, you got bamboozled, I see.
He originally wanted me to try and do the story for Jollibees 2. But due to my due to me being busy, I couldn't really think of it. And when he came back from school, like 8 or 9 months later, because he was inactive for actually 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
So he came back and he said he had a story or something planned. So I was like, oh, that's good because I didn't have anything.
Gotcha. Okay, and we're gonna wrap up Lexus's questions here. Remember, and not just for Lexus, but again, future reference for anybody who is going to be asking questions later on. 3 questions.
Right, who was it? Who was he called?
Lexus.
Lexus, if you're hearing this, post your questions again in the comment section, and once you have, I'll respond to them as a reply to go through all of them for you. Okay?
Yeah, but it's for time's sake here. We're gonna move on. But for future reference, again, for anybody listening, 3 questions. So, all right, our next one's from FNF Soft BF. Which of your previous games do you like the most?
This is kind of a repeat question there, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you said that it was the end of Disney, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this next one is from Pillalala, that's how it's pronounced. They've got They've got 6 questions here. So again, we're gonna try to condense here. And the first one they kind of ask what somebody asked before: will you no longer make Fnaf Fan Games or continue to make Fnaf Fan Games after the Lost Ones? And you said there'd be one more project after that.
Yeah, there's one more.
What are your favorite Five Nights at Mack Tonight characters, FNAF characters, and Fnati characters?
What the fuck? Okay, Mack Tonight wise, it would be Kart's Mack. Fnati wise, it would be
Hourglass.
Would
it be Hourglass for Fnati?
No, that's from the Lost. That's from the Lost Ones. We're talking about like
thing.
I would say we're talking about the official Fnati. I would say the first. And what's the third one?
Just FNAF characters in general.
DJ Music Man.
Yes. All right. Will you re-upload Five Nights at Mickey's Pizza Club?
No.
Of course. Why won't there be a Mack Tonight 4? It's like a meme at this. It's like a meme at this point. People asking for a Mack 4.
Because I'm burnt out. The story's over. Fuck off. I don't want to do it more.
Okay. And why was Lost Ones 3 canceled?
Because Nichi left the moment when it was early in development, and I couldn't be asked finishing it, so I canned it.
Yeah, totally understandable. All right, next question is from Turtle. Why this? Will there ever be a remake of The End of Disney?
No, it was originally planned though, as through Nichi's story, but because of this being a new story, not planned.
Gotcha. Okay. Our next question is from Adriana Konska. They've got 5 questions, so we're going to do the condensing thing again. Will you team up with the Radiance team for making Obelisk? Okay, I didn't know how to pronounce that for a second. Are you involved with that in any way?
Kind of. I've done small things. I've done Willy's texture. I think they asked me to... Well, actually, I'm not going to go into that detail, but it's just mainly being texture help. That's about it. It's because it's not as much as I did in the actual official Fnati. Well, not the... I know I said the actual official. I didn't really mean it in that way. I mean, I didn't do as much as I did in Fnati 1.
Alright, gotcha.
Because Upleader's Cast is technically Fnati 2. So I didn't do as much as I did in the first game, is what I'm saying.
Right. And then they asked, how are you making good models?
Well, if I started modeling in 2016, and if I check Blender right here, if I've been using Blender for about 5,705.8 hours, I think that would explain why I can model pretty well.
Yeah, lots of experience is the answer to that.
Yeah, that's why I've always said, if you want your game to look good, then take your time and learn. Get some experience.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last couple questions they have, one of them is I don't think you can answer, and then the other one I don't understand what they're asking. So I think we're just gonna.
Well, hear it and see what I say.
Well, they asked why is Antoinette in Jolly 4, which I don't think you can answer.
No, I don't know.
And then what character do you voice in? I don't understand what they're asking there.
Characters. I think they're asking which characters I've voice acted.
Oh, okay.
And
you were Hamkruger in the Halloween update for Mcdonald 1. I remember that.
Yep.
And was there anything else?
I'm gonna be. I was Oswald in FNAF 2017, and I'm gonna be reprising my role as Oswald in The Lost Ones Treasure Island.
Oh, nice. That's right. I forgot about that. Cool.
Yeah, so that's a fact to know.
And finally, our last question on the community tab is from DenDenX3. What Mickey Mouse character do you like and dislike? And this is for both of us, so I guess I'll answer after you do.
Which Mickey Mouse character?
Yeah, do you like and dislike?
I don't get it.
I guess, like, which one's your favorite and which one's your least favorite, I would think.
There's one Mickey Mouse.
I meant, like, I guess he's saying, like, out of all the crew, like, out of, like, Mickey and Minnie and Goofy and Pluto and all of, like, the characters along with that crew, I would think, is what he's talking about.
I don't. I guess I could just say my favorite is. I suppose I could say my favorite's Mickey and just guess my least favorite is Donald, I guess.
I don't really have a least favorite. I think all of them are good. Like, I like Pluto a lot. I like Mickey and Goofy's good. I think I like all of them. I don't know if I even have a one I like or dislike. I think they're all solid. All right, we're gonna move on to Twitter. And we're going to try to condense these a little bit, too, because we've been going for an hour already, and we're just now getting to Twitter. So,
yeah.
All right, our first one is from the homie Chaos himself. Would you ever be interested in branching out to make a fighting game, given your history with Dragon Ball FighterZ?
Yeah, I would actually like to try and do something like that in the future. I'm not saying I will, but that would be pretty cool.
That would be cool, yeah. And then he asked, the next episode of our Portal 2 collab, when?
Depending on when you have free, Chaos. If you have free next week, Chaos, definitely then.
Gotcha. All right, next one is from Piggy and Squiddy. Who's your favorite in Dragon Ball? It can be from the series or the manga, since there are some there and movies and all that. So which one's your favorite out of that?
I actually have two favorites. They movie-wise would be Cooler. Piggy will know who I'm talking about when I say Cooler. Not Meta Cooler, Piggy. Just Cooler. Final form Cooler. Canon-wise, I would say first form Cell.
Gotcha. When it came to making the Halloween editions of Mack, how did you think of each character's design?
Oh, here we go. This is what I was talking about from before. So, let me start off with the simplest ones. Hamburglar was Kruger. Well, based on Kruger because of his striped getup and his hat. So they both wear striped. Both wear a striped top. Well, of course, Hamburglar wears the outfit of a burglar with the white and black stripes, but that's close enough to Kruger's sweater. And he wears a hat like Kruger does as well, and he wears gloves where he can have the claws on. So it's literally a perfect match. Grimace is a candy corn because of its shape and got suggested by Fusion. Birdie got turned into the girl. What? Grudgy? The Grudge?
Yeah, Grudgy. I remember.
Somebody recommended that to me because of their appearance, so I thought I'd go with it.
I think wasn't I the one that recommended that?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that was me.
Then there's Mayor McCheese. Mayor McCheese? Is it Mayor McCheese?
Yeah. Well, it's yes. Myers McCheese.
Yeah, I know. He got turned into Myers McCheese because they both because of Mayor and Myers.
Yeah.
And as well because of his, I guess it's overall. I guess it's just because of the name. I wanted to try and get Michael Myers in somehow. So I think Mayor to Myers kind of fit the role because they're, double M.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Myers, Mayor McCheese, double M.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ronald got turned into a spirit because of his usual undead business. And Jack-o'-lantern because Mack, Jack. And I made his head a pumpkin because I didn't really know what I could really turn Mack into. I didn't want to go down the nightmare route like I did with Terror Mack because that shit was overused. So I went with the appearance that he did in the Halloween edition.
Okay, and then he says, lastly, what type of games are you into nowadays? I think you touched on that a little earlier.
I play a lot of Apex. I play a bit of Beat Saber, a bit of Blade and Sorcery, Fallout 76. I'm planning on getting into Star Wars Fallen Order soon, but along with like things like Phasmophobia and that. But yeah, those are quite a lot of games.
Gotcha. All right, our next questions are from John. His first one is, what was your favorite game that you made so far? And you said that was the end of Disney.
That's the old games. I would say my favorite games were Lost Ones, Treasure Island.
Ah, yes. That's so. Yeah, I like how that's looking so far. I'm really excited to play more of that in the future. And then the second one, would you remake an old game that you've made in the past?
Yes, if I didn't keep saying that I'm going to be stuck in fan games soon.
Gotcha. All right, next one is from Maximum Elevator. Hey, Malrat, when's Five Nights with Mack Tonight Deluxe Infinity featuring Radiance team coming?
Classified information. I can't confirm anything yet.
Understandable. All right. Next one's from Random. What is your personal favorite fan game that you've played? It could be FNAF or just in general.
So as in fan game, so
like a FNAF fan game. What's your favorite one?
I think I said before it would be Finance with Chuck E. Cheese rebooted.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
I think there might be another somewhere, unless it's Candy's 3.
Candy's 3 is so good, man. I forgot about that one. Yeah, that's such a good game. I like that a lot.
Yeah, even between those two.
I don't know. Next one is from Henry Stein Studios. The Lost Ones 3 win.
Skip.
Okay, moving on. The next one's from Tom_KT. If you could remake the models from Jollibees, what would you change?
I only technically remade them for Phase 2. And if I were to remake the Phase 2 models, I think I'd do better on the facial structure and body shape and textures. I think I do them in Substance Painter these days.
Gotcha. And then he asks, what do you like about your old games, and good luck in the future with games and models?
What I like about my old fan games is the fact they're so forgettable that I don't have to keep thinking about them every fucking day of my life.
Okay, fair enough. All right, the next one is from Serbixed. I think that's how that's pronounced. What is your favorite show/food/drink/actor?
Show, drink, and actor. My favorite drink would either be Coke, or Mountain Dew, but I can't lie. My favorite drink is milk.
Hey, that's fair, man. Milk's good. Milk is a classic.
Because I have a mini fridge next to me, and I have my own carton of milk that I just drink from a lot. So I have a huge fucking milk addiction. So
milk's good for you, man. That's a good addiction.
Yeah. So my favorite drink is milk. So then we're going to actor. I don't know.
Mine is Willem Dafoe for the record. I think he's one of the best, if you ask me.
Trying to think, because I think I do have like an actor I really like. I do not remember. I guess I could say Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, that's a good one, dude. Ryan Reynolds is great.
Yeah, and then there's Shaw. Oh god, I guess it could either be sort of like, well, if anime could count, I guess I could say Dragon Ball.
That's fair. All right. Before I ask this next question, let me make sure. How aware are you of Game Grumps? Like,
my brother watches them a lot.
Okay, because the question is, does Bruno Mars is gay?
What the fuck?
I understand that reference. I understood that reference.
I'm guessing that's. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a long story. I get the reference, but it's for somebody. Yeah, if you haven't seen,
I'll look into it. But that's not,
just look it up. It's easy to find, but it's funny. All right, our next one is from Autumn Satire. What game, non-FNAF, has really impressed you in graphics and possibly inspired your current work?
BioShock.
Hell yeah, dude. BioShock's awesome. Somebody actually commented on my Legend of Markiplier stream last night. They said, can you play BioShock? And I was like, dude, I've played them already. I played all 3 games. They're on the channel.
1999 mobile.
All right, the next one is also, what is your biggest recommendation for anybody entering with 3D computer software like Blender?
Learn it first before going in.
Gotcha. All right, our next question is from Chanda King 4. Do you like Animal Crossing?
Never played it.
Gotcha. All right, next one is from Grayson the Kid. What are some of your favorite Mack Tonight characters? I think you said that Mack was your favorite. Yeah. All right, is there an explanation on how the employee dressed as Ronald came to life?
No.
So that's just that's left vague then.
Yeah, I never came up with anything of how that happened.
Gotcha. And then the last one is, what are some of your favorite moments with your FNAF fan games?
I think the best way to put that is how much I've grown between each one, where I can see the differences between every game and how different they start to become. That's what I like about when it comes to making fan games. I get to see the change, and that change keeps me motivated.
Gotcha. All right. Our next question is from Robster. What gives you the whole idea to make FNAF fan games in the first place?
I don't know. I guess it's because of how trendy FNAF was, and seeing. I guess it was because I found it's Treasure Island. After hearing it got cancelled, and I released for files, I wanted to try and finish it myself, and that's kind of got me into the scene. And Faithful Windows, aka Desco, was generous enough to teach me the basics of Click Team. And if it wasn't for him and another person who supplied me with Click Team, I'm trying to remember who. I'm so sorry if I forgot your name if you're at all hearing this, but those two basically helped me start off this journey. So be sure to support Desco.
All right, next one is from Kleiner Studios. So with the episode with Ivan G, you mentioned a 3D dodge projectiles game, and I'm just curious about the progress on it. Is it canceled? Is it being worked on? And does it have a possible release that's not being worked on at the moment?
It's not being worked on yet. It hasn't been planned yet. I need to learn Unreal before doing something like that, and I still need to finish dodge projectiles too.
Gotcha. All right, next one is from Ray. What is your favorite fighting game?
Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Right. His next one is, what are your thoughts on FNAF Security Breach?
So right, has potential, needs to be fixed.
Yep. And his last one is, what type of games will you be playing on your horror stream series?
I want to play some things like Alien Isolation, Slenderman, Dead Space. Oh god, that was a hiccup. So Dead Space, and I think I was thinking about Amnesia or something else. But those are basically the games I've done in mind so far.
All right, our next one is from Restream. You said in an early Games of Community post for the Lost Ones Treasure Island that P&M would be a skin for Lost Mickey. Will all of the main cast get skins like their classic Fnati appearances?
Yes.
Cool. Also, to troll Bud after the all 20 mode, will there be an all 30 mode?
Not sure.
That would definitely be trolling me, for sure. And our last one on Twitter is from Iris Flower Eyesore 145. Who is your favorite cartoon character?
Rami.
Yep, yeah, I understand that. And finally, we're moving on to our Twitter. We're moving on to our Discord questions. So we're gonna.
What the hell?
Let's just redo that. All right, cut that out. All right, and we're finally moving on to our Discord questions. These are our last questions here. Our first one's from Glitch Trap. What made you start both the Fnati series and the Fnats of Mack Tonight series? You talked about Fnats of Mack Tonight, but what inspired the Fnati games?
With the Fnati games, I had an inspiration in mind of possible ways to continue them. They were not executed well. They were not fought well. It was just young me having a dream, and did not work well.
Gotcha, understandable. All right, next ones are from Bandit. What is your favorite color?
Blue or black.
Interesting. All right, his next one is, why do you like Yoshi?
I just kind of grew up with him. I just kind of liked it for his appearance. I always found him, just as a likable looking character. As well, I've always seemed to like animals from different things. Like in One Piece, I've always liked Tony Chopper. In other things, I've always seemed to like the animal characters. There's just something about them which I like. I guess it's just because I got burnt out on just always seeing the human characters, just seeing something a bit different. I don't know, it's weird. No fully.
Understandable. And his last one is, what is your favorite Kart combination in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
I have no idea because I just slap random shit on unexpected work.
Fair enough. That's what you should do in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. All right, next one is from Nami1. If you were to make a game with non-copyrighted material, what would it be and why?
I have no fucking clue because I'm not creative. I always thought of an animatronic character being a kangaroo. I think I wanted to call a cow the kangaroo. It's a female kangaroo who can have a smaller animatronic inside the pocket, who can crawl, who can basically be eyes and ears from a distance. That's basically my only ever original FNAF character.
Gotcha. All right, our next ones are from Mr. Waffles. What is the worst food you've ever had, and from where?
The worst food? That's an interesting one. I don't know. I've always liked a majority food, but a food I do not like is parsnip.
Parsnip? Interesting. I hate Brussels sprouts. That would be my answer to that.
I like sprouts.
I don't know why. I've never enjoyed them. Maybe if they're
I've always hated parsnips for the aftertaste.
Yeah, that's understandable. And his last question is, if you were to introduce one of your games to newcomers, which one would you recommend?
None.
None?
Possibly. I would say the Lost Ones 2 Remastered.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'd recommend that one as well. All right, our next one is from Ob Marshall. When will you continue the GTA Online series?
I need to edit the vids. I know I need to get on that. I've just been too fucking busy with other stuff, playing other things. I want to, but my motivation for editing is always been down the drain.
I feel that.
I'm thinking of just getting other people to edit for me and paying them, but I don't want to pay too much. It's why I never asked.
Right.
I know Ob edits. I might have to ask him to see if he's down for it.
Gotcha. And then he asked, what was the easiest program to learn for your games, in your opinion?
Blender for modeling. And of course, click team recording. I don't really know what else.
Gotcha. All right, the next one's from Brady B. Which game have you had the most fun working on?
Mack Tonight 3.
Yeah, I bet that was fun. It sounds like you had fun with that. All right, our next one's from Random. Out of all the series that you've worked on, which one would you consider the definitive Malrat game series?
Lost Ones.
Yeah.
My last one is not niche.
Right. Yeah, I would agree.
I have full control, and I have a hella good story that is actually much better than Mack Tonight, and I cannot wait to show everyone what I have in store.
All right, our next one's from Piggy and Squiddy. How did you and Bud meet?
Right, so my old account is gone because I used to have an older YouTube account, and I commented on Bud's The End of Disney vid. I'm doing my usual searching up recent uploads, and I found Bud's vid when I released The End of Disney. I was walking home one day from school, and I got on my phone and searched up on YouTube about recent uploads, and I saw Bud with, for some reason, a purple face on his thumbnail, even though that wasn't in the game. I don't know.
I remember which thumbnail you're talking about. I don't know what I had going on in my head with that, but
so Bud got stuck with how the buttons work on the desk, and I commented about how it works. Next vid said he was an idiot and found out how it worked. Then I commented on that about other things. Then we started talking on Skype. We got to know each other better. Then I asked him if he wanted to test the game, and then it just really went on from there. And that was 5-6 years ago.
Yep, been a while. All right, our next one's from Doc Holiday. Is Ramanov based, and how did you meet Maximum Elevator?
Ramen is not based, and I met Vapor in Clown Academy.
Okay, moving on to Wily Dog. When it comes to the Lost Ones, what character out of the whole series is your favorite? You said Hourglass, yeah. And then he asked, this one's regarding the end of Disney, how would you remake it with the skills that you have now?
I will make it so everything is not bump mapped to hell. Because the bump map was awful. And as well, some of the designs in the walls, trying to make them look like the damage was pretty shit. I would add more debris. I would make it a bit darker, like more gritty. I would love to make a proper gritty, gory game. That's something I would love to do. And make the mechanics a bit less tedious. That's about it.
Gotcha. All right, this next one is from Damien, aka Genius Night Creator. Out of all your games, which one is your favorite? I think you said that that was into Disney.
Lost One's no, that's the old games.
Okay, well, okay, old games. Your favorite now is Lost One's Treasure Island.
Yes.
Gotcha. And last but not least, PJ, use code PNMickey.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Do it.
You got my seal of approval.
Alrighty, well, that is everybody's questions, mostly. You know, we had to condense some, but we got through it. And thank you guys for all the questions. We had a ton this time, but remember, next time, just keep it to a max of 3. Next week, I'm going to be talking to Necrodusk. He is the developer of the Legend of Markiplier series, so that should be an interesting conversation. Be sure to check that out. If you guys would like to see the
Ask him to use code PNMickey.
Yes, I will. If you guys would like to see other interviews that I've had with Mixter here, you can check in the description. I've done a whole interview with him a few years ago. He was on GeniusCast with Ivan, and he's just in a lot of my stuff. So, you know, go check him out if you guys haven't.
Yeah, boy.
So, thank you guys so much for watching or listening. Hope you'll have a good afternoon or evening. Check out the previous episodes of this if you have not. And I'll see you guys next week with Necrodusk. Hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys then. Good night, everybody. See y'all later. Goodbye.
Later, alligators.